is Paul from the Tamiya channel with my up and coming build, or buddy build with switcher, in regards to the Leopard 2 A6. He's building the Canadian version, I'm building the German version. His is a Hobby Boss kit, I believe, and mine is the Tamiya one. And I'll just show you quickly now exactly what it is. There we go. So we're actually going to be starting this on the 1st of September, so it should be an interesting build. I've got a few extras, which I said I was going to be shake and bake out of the box. What I actually meant by shake and bake is they say the kit, if you shake the box, it should come out completed. I tried it once, it didn't work. Anyway, so I've got 1 or 2 extras. They've got new gun barrel coming, and obviously and some bit of photo etch to use for it as well. Not going to say I'm going to use it all, but there you go, that's what it is. So now let's go to the workbench. Thank you. Welcome back to the workbench, and carrying on with our in the box pre-build review of the Leopard 2 A6 from Tamiya. And I won't mention all the bit, but I will say the kit numbers. There, the kit part, there we go. The kit number is 35271, which is a good, because it means it hasn't altered since I last looked at it about 10 minutes ago. And this is what's in the box. Here we go, we lift it up. Nice box art on the front, I must admit, I really love it. There'd be a nice painting if you had that on your wall. There we go. And instructions. What I'm going to do is look at the instructions first. Right, there we go. So put that over that way. But look at the instructions first, and here we go, moving over. Now, I'm not going to go too much, just going to whip through them for it, because I think this tank's been reviewed before, and I'm only just doing a pre-build because I am building it with switcher on the 1st of September. So there you go. So the first page is basically all in Japanese, I'm afraid, but there you go. It's got a little bit to let you know that's definitely a Leopard one, and that's the KPZ70, which was was American design. And originally the Leopard was going to be used by the Americans as well. Once the prototypes of the Leopard 1 was actually completed, they sent 2 to America for trials, and I think it took about a year, I think, something like that, and they ended up sending them back. And then they went and built their own M1. So the project that was going to be a good idea, so that basically the 2 vehicles would be used by Germany plus America and plus many of their allies most probably, but in the end they went their own way. So it's a shame, but things like that happen all the time. So anyway, turn it over, get this back into the middle. I'm not going to zoom in too much, but all I can say to you, this is a lot of bump about the vehicle. Tells you about used by 11 European countries and Germany's Leopard 2 tanks. Perfect balance of firepower, protection, mobility and availability. Within the Leopard 2 A4 is regarded as the most powerful tank in the world, with superior protection and firepower, and the latest Leopard 2. The Leopard 2 A6 features an even more powerful weapon system. I won't go any more back, but basically you can read up on that anyway, but there you go. But if you want to read it a bit more, I'm going to go up there, do this, and I think if you freeze frame now you might be able to read it. But there you go, just worth it. Anyway, let's run through it then. A nice diagram of the vehicle over there, and obviously the Leopard 1 and the American version they was building over there, the KPZ70, which I believe was just a prototype, never got built any further than that. Here we go, turning over. Usual blurb in regards to paints, glues, knives and that, and what you need for the vehicle, plus any paint call outs, all Tamiya obviously, chrome and all the usual bits and pieces. I think they're for the headlights, to be quite honest. I've got a new thing to try at some point. Don't know which vehicle it's going to be trying on, but I'm going to be using the new chrome pins, and I'll talk about those later on. There's quite a few people using them in the community, and I want to give them a go because I've got a car to build later on. I'd love to know if I can just use a marker pen and get really good chrome. Right, here we go then. So unusually the number 1 is actually the rear plate that's being built up, to do with the tail lamps and bits and pieces there. We've given you call outs 27, 26 and X7, which is silver, which would be pretty good. And I've got those 2 colours now because as switcher knows, I've just gone out and bought all the Tamiya clear colours. I've already had smoke, so that's in my collection already. And I did have a couple of other colours, but I think the lids the paint had gone old, so I thought the 5 new colours, the other colours are all good. Anyway, so here we go. Anyway, so we finished number 1, and that's to do the towing hooks and bits and pieces and tail lights. Next one over then, number 2 is the actual drive sprocket and all the road wheels and the idlers, 2 of those, and the rest of the road wheels. Good thing about Tamiya again is they put collie caps inside there, so you can actually build the wheels up, stick them on the end of wooden spikes, do all your painting and business, do the spray the road wheels as well, and then basically put them on the vehicle when you're ready to. And so we never put them on when they tell us to. But anyway, so you build all the road wheels in that position, number 2. Then we move up to the suspension area of the vehicle, putting all the fitments for the suspension underneath on the rear hole and attaching the rear plate into its position, which is a good idea. Then we moved on to the actual suspension arms for the road wheels, and the good thing about this one is basically you've got 2 actual jigs that actually allow you to actually put every single one of those suspension arms in the exact same position, because that jig will actually hold them in place, which is really great. I really like that. And it says don't glue it, so it's pretty obvious. You don't want to put your jig in, you'll never get your wheels on. Anyway, dropping in number 5. Number 5 is basically the fitment of the road wheels, but as we said, we normally put them on well later on during the build, because obviously when we want to do some weathering or anything to the hole, you can't do it with the road wheels in place, which is good. Lovely. Then moving over to the next page now. We start with the top hole. Not much to do on part 6 really. All it's saying is there's a screw goes there, or some sort of cap there. I'll soon find out when I do it. Looks like a screw cap there. There's a bit of a screwy thing there, and also then putting a bit of clear glass in for the drivers, one of the drivers' periscopes. So that's okay. Good. Sad bit about it is you've got to put that on quite early on. So the best thing is to paint the other side of it quickly at some point. Or paint that separate so you can put it in later, because hopefully this will all fit on easier later anyway. Might do. I'm going to have to look at that when I come to painting it, because I definitely want to keep a clear vision port there. And here there's a plastic sheet that comes with the kit, and it shows you the 2 bits that are not being used. All the rest of them are clear. The good thing is, if you keep that sheet, you've got some spare perspex for some project later on down the road. Number 7 is putting further attachments onto the top of the tank hole. Also putting the fans, cooling fans at the back. And I've got a photo etch kit that most probably deal with that, but I'll talk about that when we get to the end of this. Then we get to number 8, which is actually sorting out the headlights and some support light stays in place. There they are. And then the next one, it talks about, and there's no number here, it just talks about gluing the tracks. So it hasn't got a number, but you can see you need to do that earlier on. Now I'm going to be using the kit traps because I've had a look at them. They are good enough for this kit, and also basically most are well over the top half is always hidden up anyway. And with this particular track, there's no sag, so you haven't got to worry about that. But I do like through tracks, but I'm not going to spend money on through tracks for this particular kit when the kit tracks are ideal for it. With weathering, you wouldn't know the difference too much. Next time, over to number 9. Let's carry on, but at the driver's compartment now, putting the hatch area in, and more periscopes going in that place, because you can see them there, the clear bits, in number F from that sheet. And headlights into place. Now I'm going to be replacing those glass bits because I think they're just solid. And I've got these, which I can drill one out and then put the right size into the slot, hopefully. But I won't drill it out until I know I can do it. There you go. So that's what that. So that's number 9, and then it drops onto number 10, and now it's adding tools and bits and pieces and the side skirts. Again, side skirts might be left till later on. Then making the tow rope up, which has got that horrible string in Tamiya kits, and I think it's still in this one. All I would do is replacing that with copper, but using the same cable ends. Got a rear view camera here being fitted. It goes on somewhere. It goes on the end of the body by the looks of it. B13SC. Nope, not sure where that goes, but it goes on might be the turret actually, who knows. But there you go. So Tenzo actually do with the cable and the rear view camera, because the driver can see backwards when he's driving backwards. Yeah, I was right. Go to 12, and that camera you've made up goes to the rear. And then some more attachments for bits and more tools for the whole top. Going to 13, attaching the cables, which you've just built on the previous one, which was number part call out 11. So that's putting the cables on. Next one is number 14, and this is where you start on the turret, in the upper part of the turret, adding all the periscopes. Again, you've got to think about how you're going to paint it before we do that, and I'll be doing that when I get to it because it's easier. More actually, of course, it's all from these are all plastic parts, are actually from that sheet that you were given. There you go. Gun barrel, number 15, putting the gun barrel together, all the bits and pieces. And I may go with a kit one, but I have actually sent for ones. If it gets here on time, I'll use it. If it doesn't, I won't. But I've got another Leopard that the same gun goes on anyway. So but now I'll wait for the other one to turn up. Hopefully it'll be in a couple of weeks anyway. So there you go, that's a gun attachment. Then it's about putting the top half of the turret to the lower, and attaching, I believe, a seat in there for the commander, I believe, or the gunner. Yeah, it must be the commander, he's got more periscopes. And on to number 17, more attachments to the top turret, a bit of armour plating and bits and pieces. And the reel, the bobbin reel, and there's no cable on the bobbin reel, so it might be worth getting some wire and wrapping it around it to give it some sort of some use, because it is for cable, and it's possibly for communication cable. Who knows? I don't know, but perhaps Sergeant Bones will come back with that one. You never know. Please, Sergeant. There we go. The next one, number 18, is carrying on with that, all the attachments to the top of the turret and going over the basket again, putting the basket together. Now it's call out to use these as actually cutouts for the actual mesh that they give you. The mesh they give you is terrible, but I've got a photo etch kit, so this will be all replaced with a photo etch and build up. Then they get attached in number 20, and it's adding the actual hatches in the right place, and the smoke dischargers, which I believe that's all they can fire is smoke. But mind you need it in a modern battlefield, I should think. There you go. And moving over to the next side, you're still on the turret top, adding a few more bits, machine guns in place, and also adding some more smoke dischargers on the opposite side of the turret. And then you get to the crew, number 22, painting the figures. I'm quite interested in looking at that and doing them. I might do them. If not, I'll close a buttoner up, but I do like the idea of having to cut some figures on this one. Not sure, but I'll come to that bit when I get to it. Putting the turret in place, and basically they're saying, obviously if it's running around a school one, in Germany and in Britain they have the old orange light flashing when they're on the public roads as a warning, and it's a clear bit there that's going to be orange. There you go. Next one over. Oh, there's the signs that you're going to see later on that actually you can use. You can actually put a small diorama together with two road signs that are beside the road. And we get to the paint cordless. Now Switcher's sending me, God bless him, he's sending me the actual masking to do this paint scheme. I was going to do it freehand, but I'm going to give it a look at these masks and give it a go. But I've been told by Sergeant Bones that some of them were, and you can see some of his photographs, they have faintly soft edges anyway. And some of it's to do with dirtiness, as Switcher said, but he's actually said that some of them are. He said they're not all sprayed exactly the same either. So there you go. So it's worth knowing. But I'm going to try and use the mask that Switcher sends me. These are for the old school. There's a school one. So with the school one, you'd have the old flashing light up the top. But any tank that's been used in training that goes around onto public areas and public roads, they have that yellow light on, and does add a little bit of colour interest to the vehicle and all. There you go. And moving over to the other side, there you go. Not sure which company I'm going to use and which Panzer Battalion or company I should say, which company in Panzer Battalion. Not sure which one I use, but when I get near the time for that in the build, I will actually talk about that again. Right, let's have a look at the parts in the old kit. Here we go. I'm going to put this on my lap. Right, let's start with the whole bottom. Right, I'm going to turn my other light on now because I've found out that I can get no reflection on it, and I can get really good details. There you go. Really is nice. The details are really crisp and really good. And that bit's got to be chiselled off with my modelling chisels, and then sanded smooth, and let's go. They might have a bit of surface underneath there, but other than that, it looks really nice. They actually are very good. We'll take a nice wash inside there, give it a bit of detail. You can actually see the mesh behind it and all. They are like air intake grills. There you go. So that's the whole top, whole bottom. Really interesting. Should be good and easy to build because it's already built up, isn't it? Of course it is. Right, anyway, moving on. I digress. And as you can see, I've undone some of the polybacks because it's easier, and then we can see a bit more detail. Now the good thing I've noticed on this when I did my first test run on this film is, because I didn't have a light above, you can see how good that detail is and how crisp it is, and you can even see the non-slip areas that are actually already on the vehicle, which is nice. That means I haven't got to put them on. Fuel caps and everything, you've even got a lot of, you can see this, if I do that, I'll just see that, there you go. All the detail, it's beautiful detail there, you can't miss it, and it's typical Tamiya. Then you go over the other side and you've got the tail plate, as I said, and you can see the detail there. It's really nice. The gun as well. I might build this gun up and see how it looks, and just keep the other one back for another build later on. Because I think I have got another Leopard of the same make. I've got 2 other Leopards. There we go. You can see how beautiful that detail is. That is really good. Even there you can see, if I move that slightly, there you can see. All the side plates on here look lovely. Really great. Looking forward to building this one. I'm glad Swisher decided to do this. It was an excellent idea doing it before the Tiger one. Right, then we got the turrets. Top and bottom. Oh, and there's the decals. I should be able to hold this quite nicely there. There we go. Really nice decals. And they're Tamiya. And they actually look very thin. So they'll be nice. I'll put them back in the bag. There you go. And now let's look at the turret detail. And you can see the texture. There is texture there. Nice details. All the way around. And the turret bottom, which you don't normally see much of the bottom, but you can see the details still there now. Really nice. Oops, wrong way around I think. No, it was the right way, so it didn't devil me. Oh, it goes a bit further in there because you've got plates if you're going interlocking plates. I'm not going to muck about that yet. There you go, so that's that bit. Put that underneath there so I don't get scratching that. Then we move on to the next one. No, I haven't done these. I'm going to do it now. And move that bag over to there. I only need one because these are duplicates. And there you go. And even that grille looks really nice. And all the road wells, there's no flash at all. And the headlights are hollow, which is good. And they've got a clear bit of they've got a plastic there that's not clear. Now that means that one of my smaller lights, clear pieces, most probably fit in there perfect. And if I paint inside there with new chrome silver pen, should look nice. But it'll come to that when we get to it. I'll explain it what I've seen on the build. There's the mirror. There you go. Good detail on the tools. And there's what the jig I said about keeping the suspension level so it sits nice and flat once you finish the model. There you go. Next one. Oh, there is. Oh, well, I'll take it back. I ain't going to do any mucking about. I will take it back. Because I'm not going to do this package because I don't want to scratch anything. But inside this here, we've got the clear parts for the lights. Even got some spectacles to protect the drivers from the dust and commanders from dust. The lights, that's going to be good. They'll be painted with my clear colours, which I've got all 6 of them now from Tamiya. So there you go. So brilliant, excellent. What a good job. And this is the longer barrel, if I remember rightly, because this is a barrel you've got to use, because this is the longer version. There we go. And I don't know if I can get that bit out. Yeah, I can. If I just bring this over slightly, excuse my looking about, I think you can see the difference. Straight away between the two, the new and the old gun. There you go, got much more powerful gun on the A6 version. So, but and the actual figures don't look too bad, but it all depends on the face. The faces ain't too bad on this either. Funny enough, they look the same. They must be twins. Ah, they got twins. Anyway, but I'm sure with a bit of different colour schemes, if I decide to paint the figures, it'll be alright. But it looks really nice. The gun looks nice. It looks like it's yep, perfect. So there you go. Excellent. I'm waffling now, aren't I? And there's the last brew. Anyway, and I will take it out. Got 10 minutes left, so I'm okay. Get that's reflection. This is the last brew. That you can see how clear it is. It's really good. And there's a little camera bit below it. That's the rear camera facing camera attachment. You can see there. I'm going to get a blue one. I was trying to get one today, but I couldn't get it. So I'm going to get a blue one for doing this. So it's better. but you can see how good the parts are. The textures are there. Driver's hatch area, commander's hatch area, and some more of the arm. This is the turret armor plating on the top of the front of the turret, and these bits around on the cheeks. But yeah, it's looking nice. And then these are the bins, quite thin, so they're quite nice, and they should take the photo etch, which is designed for this kit, and this kit anyway, because it is is it? Well, I'll show you in a minute, because I'm going to show you. So there you go. That's all the plastic parts so far. Leave that over there. Got to put it in the box. Then we've got the tracks, and to be quite honest, I know they're shiny, but it won't be when I finish. They look good enough to put on this kit. Once you've got it in place and painted up and the pads all done, that's going to look nice, and there's two of them anyway. So I'm not going to muck about with any aftermarket with that. Then we've got the clear bits, and I'm not going to take them out and all the actual wheels, but there's the mesh. You can see that. No, I don't like that. It looks quite thick and clunky. It is fine, and it would be usable, but I'm going to prefer to use the actual photo etch on it. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And there's the bit of Tamiya string that they use for the tow cables. Don't like it. Going to use copper wire for that. There you go. So that's a bit. I put them bits in there so I don't lose them. And over there. And then we go to the last thing I want to show you about is, and I'm not going to go into kit it out the packet too much. I've had it out once. Here it is. This is the photo etch, and it's if anyone's building one and wants to go for it, it's 1/35 and it's 36028, and it's for the Tamiya kit, the Leopard 2 A6, and it's Edward, and you get quite a bit of photo etch there. And I've got to be honest, I might not be able to use it all, but I will try to use all the main bits that I need to do, hopefully get a good job. But that measure looks really fine. That sits over the top of it. I think it's going to look really nice, so it's worth a go. So there you go. That's all the bits I've got, and the barrel actually in the post. So just bring the lid over here now. So that, turn the top light off. There you go. That's the vehicle we're going to use, the Tamiya Leopard, and that is it really for the pre-build review, which will be starting on the 1st of September with my buddy Switcher. So thank you very much for watching again, and I'll catch you on the next one. And I hope you like the style of this video. I've done a slightly different tweak to it by actually talking about it face to face with the camera, and then coming into here and actually putting it on the workbench. So hopefully you like it, and if you do, give it a thumbs up. No, I'm not really worried. Do what you like, and basically so I'm not worried about people piling up with me subscriptions. I just do this for fun, and it's a hobby, isn't it? So and I just enjoy doing it. So thank you very much for watching. Anyone has watched it, and carry on. Happy modelling. I think that's going to be my saying from now on. Happy modelling at the end of every video. Happy modelling. Bye.